economical Chrysler Newport. Sports bred Chrysler 300 at your Chrysler dealers now.
I'd like to give a little backstory. Some weeks ago, my dad and I got talking about 4 old cars at a piece of property. There were 2 Chrysler 300s and 2 Chrysler Newports. This got us thinking about restoring one as my first car. The weeks of talking came down to a couple minutes of looking at the cars before okaying the project. Each car had something wrong, and we expected that. We hoped that between the 4 cars, we could pull parts from some and then restore one to its former glory. One car that would be roadworthy and drivable again. I'd also like to add that the last time we'd seen any of these cars were a couple years ago, and we were not sure of the condition of some of them, mainly because we didn't pay attention when we last saw them. This, however, was a time to look closely. But enough of talking about the backstory. Let's talk about the cars themselves. The first of the cars was a Chrysler 300, and being a 2-door, it was a good contender for our project. Sadly, the interior was messed up and there was a few spots of rust through the floorboard. It also looked like there had been an accident with the right rear side that would require a lot of work to fix. So with that out of the way, on to the next. The next car was a Chrysler Newport. The main reason why we ruled this one out is because it was a 4-door and the interior was shredded. It also looked like an animal had lived inside the engine bay, and we could see some chewed wiring and a lot of debris. For those reasons, it was out of the question. The next car was a Chrysler Newport, and it had 3 of the 6 windows broken out. It also had the worst interior out of them all by far, and we just decided that as it was a 4-door, it wasn't worth trying to save anyways. The fourth and final car was a Chrysler 300, meaning it was a 2-door. It looked good until we saw the left rear, where there was a massive dent. There was also about a soccer ball sized hole in the floorboard of rust, and about 5 out of the 6 windows needed a replacement. For those reasons, we just simply had to rule this one out. That means that effectively none of the cars would be usable, and this project was sort of scrapped. Enough about why they wouldn't work. I want to briefly focus on why I want to bring back metal blocks from the 60s. The main answer is because of the history behind it. All of these cars were my grandfather's, and I would like to see one on the road at the same time of electric cars trying to take over. I would have liked to have one of these cars back to roadworthy as a tribute to my grandfather, a man that I never got to meet but would have very much liked to have. I know that these cars can't feel human emotions, but there is a sense of betrayal around them. I feel as though I was the last person to probably ever care about trying to bring one back, and to look at them all for a couple minutes and then call the project off doesn't sit right with me. Even if I know it is for the best, knowing the time and money that would have to go into bringing one back, it still doesn't feel right, like leaving a good friend behind. With deciding to not go through with this project, there is a little bit of good news. I'll be looking for a first car for the channel, and something that you guys can follow along with. Thank you all for 1,000 subscribers, and I will be trying to get this first car to share with you all. I would also like to thank my friend for letting me use some of his music in this video. If you want to check that out, I will link his Spotify in the comments. And with that, have a good day.